Yeah, it certainly is the talking point, so let's get straight into it now. And I guess when you talk about Collingwood, you talk about Nathan Buckley and his tenure at the club. Now, he bristled at that when he faced the media yesterday. But let's put this into perspective and let's actually get a vote on this. As I said, I'm a Collingwood supporter. I would say let him see out the season. Even let him go beyond this season, because quite frankly, who is going to slip into that job and do a better job at the moment with what he's got to work with? Now, he might have put some of the pressure on himself with bad trade deals and the like, and just how much of an influence he had with that, I don't know. But I'm saying get off his back.
I tend to agree, TJ. I mean, a kick-off a grand final, and we keep bringing that up, but it could be different. And then you get told that we're over the salary cap. I think Collingwood have let Nathan Buckley down because he can't put a side out that he wants to at the moment. Yes, he may have had some say in who goes out the door, but it wasn't his fault that players had to go out the door. If he had his time over again, he'd love to keep those players. And we know Treloar, Phillips, Stevenson, but then you're told you're not going to be able to get anybody in. So they were after Jeremy Cameron, couldn't afford Jeremy Cameron, and we're going to give up our first pick next year. So you're hamstrung of what you can put out there. Now they're playing the kids that tried Darcy Moore back, but I think give Nathan Buckley the chance to rebuild because I think he's a pretty good coach.
I don't think you can say that, TJ. Where you say, who else are they going to get?
Because, well, who else are they going to get?
No, but what I'm saying, where did Hardwick start? So where was he when he first started his career? You've got to give someone a chance.
But that's the luck of the draw, isn't it?
That's right. So where did Beveridge start? Where did Clarko start?
Okay, who took over from Kevin Sheedy?
Matthew Knight.
How'd that go?
That's right. But what I'm saying is, what do you do? Just say, oh, I don't think there's anyone better out there. I think what you've got to look at is who's improving at Collingwood. So name me one player that's improved this year.
Dacos? I think
he's going okay, yeah. But I'm just saying, you've got to always ask, is players developing? How's our game style going? The ball use, all those sorts of things. I don't think you can just... I think Nathan was a wonderful player. He's a big name. Yes, he did take teams to twos, but he's getting cut a lot more grace, in my opinion, than like a David Teague. David Teague doesn't have the respect that Nathan Buckley has. So we all say, oh, I'd give Nathan another chance. But they have to ask serious and hard questions. They are 1 win and 6 losses after 7 rounds. Yes, their list doesn't look that great. So there's been some shocking errors with the Dane Beams decision and the salary cap issue. So he's had to deal with some of that. But I think, they have to ask the hard questions.
So hang on, would you get rid of him?
Well, I obviously would give him till the end of the year as well. But, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they moved on.
TJ, they're a club that doesn't do small names. I mean, you've got Nathan Buckley as a famous Collingwood person. Prior to him, it was Mick Malthouse. I mean, Tony Shaw, another famous Collingwood person. Lee Matthews came in. Tom Hafey. They've never gone down the rebuild type of coach. And I think that's part of this conversation now because the problems at the club are not just on field. They are equally as dramatic off field. And that's still got a fair bit to play out as well. So I think you bring it all together and the club needs to actually have a proper review of where it's at and what it needs to do by way of the profile of person they bring into the board and also the coaching
Okay, so
structure.
where do you find a Tommy Hafey, a Mick Malthouse, unless you go for an Alistair Clarkson?
Yep.
Okay, well, would you go for an Alistair Clarkson?
Look, every club that wants to replace a coach makes that phone call at the starting point because they need to know the answer to that question. You'd hate to go through a process and then have Alistair say, why didn't you ring me? So that will be happening, that phone call, if they decide at some stage soonish or whatever it is to look beyond Nathan Buckley.
I can't see them going with a David Teague or a Brendan Bolton or a young Alistair Clarkson, Luke Beveridge. I think that phone call starts at Clarkson, then it goes to Simpson, then it goes to Beveridge. If it's not those, then it's
Ross Lyon.
But then it's that next rung. So then it's the ones like Lyon or Ruse who don't seem to be busting the door down to put their hand up to be wanting to coach, which you would have to do. So if it's not Nathan Buckley, I'm with you, TJ. Who is it? And to your point, Lordo, you make a very, very good one. But would Collingwood and the board go with an untried coach?
Why do they think like that? West Coast is a huge club. Massive over there. They give Adam Simpson the job. And how good's he been for them? Justin Longmuir replaced Ross Lyon. How's he travelling? He's going so well. So why do they think they're that big a club that we have to go Malthouse, we have to go Clarkson? Open it up. Open it up and see who the best candidate out there, because there might be the next best coach out there.
But all the science degrees and the sports science degrees in the world doesn't necessarily make you a great coach.
But where's it got them, TJ? Where has this got them?
They got pretty close 3 years ago.
But as Nathan said, I mean, they're only a kick away.
Yeah.
If you look at them as a club overall, I mean, we're not going to turn this into the Collingwood 2 hours, by the way. Okay?
I think he's been a successful coach without winning a premiership.
But Collingwood is a very, very successful club without winning premierships every second year as well. So
the most concerning thing right now for Nathan Buckley, and we're going to show some clips, is the effort that the players are giving and where the club think they are at, Damo. And we heard from Mark Corder.
Yeah, well, this is the interesting part now. They're 1 win and 6 losses after 7. What is the significance of the remaining 15 matches in 2021. And I think when you hear Mark Corder, the new chairman, or the new officially appointed chairman, and also Graham Wright, the new footy boss, there's still a bit of mixed messaging here.
Yeah, we hope to make finals. If we had a won yesterday, we would have been only one game out of the 8. So, yeah, we still mathematically can make it. We hope so. We're focused on winning games and hopefully playing finals.
I think we've always said that you're either in contention or developing to be in contention, and we still feel as though that there's plenty of talent here, and we're really hopeful that some of these young guys coming through are going to be meaningful players for us and over the next few years, and hopefully we can contend again soon.
So that's two key officials at the footy club. Nathan Buckley himself spoke after the bad loss to the Gold Coast Suns about losing a key component to his structure and what it means for him playing the kids in the remainder of the year.
We've built our DNA on defending really well, and clearly our offence, or going forward, has been an area of improvement. But I may be focusing on that. We've lost our the DNA of defending the ground really well. The conversation in there with the leaders was around our young blokes, and we're throwing them to the wolves a little bit, and we're not supporting them as much as we'd like to.
With that DNA and not being able to defend comes poor foot skills, because you're not getting the ball out on your own. And Collingwood at the moment are just about the poorest in the competition. Their cohesion forward, midfield to forward's always been an issue. Even as much as 2 years ago, it's always been an issue. Now it is stark. You put Darcy Moore down there. I don't care how good Darcy Moore is. He wasn't going to get on the end of a few yesterday. And look at that to Jordan De Goey. So people look at Moore and De Goey yesterday and go, they can't get near it. But you try and get on the end of that sort of stuff. It's pretty dire for Collingwood at the moment, but, I mean, they've got to start at their skill level.
So the most concerning thing for Nathan Buckley is that he came into this game and he wanted to bring the heat on the opposition. Let's have a listen to him just before the game started yesterday.
We just haven't brought consistent heat on the opposition as often as we would like. So that's what we want to see, and we're coming up against a side who have been as good as any this year at doing that. So that's a challenge, to be able to buffer their pressure, but then to be able to bring enough pressure on them to create opportunities for ourselves.
So I wanted to bring pressure on the opposition yesterday. Well, this is what they served up. And when he says we've lost our defensive DNA, this is what he means. This ball has to go long down the line. You're on Collingwood's forward line, the last line, the best place to defend. They allow an easy kick then, and then watch the roll-off. Watch how far these players are off. It's 3 and 4 metres off their opponents, which just allows Gold Coast, away from home, young side, to march the ball down the ground under no pressure, uncontested mark after uncontested mark. They took 146. You're half a metre off. Not good enough. Shut down that kick, lock it in your front half, and then you get this. You get the run, you get the overlap, you get the easy outlet. You miss a 50-50 one-on-one there, which opens up another handball and an easy mark inside 50, uncontested mark, another shot on goal. There's your defensive DNA. This is what Nathan Buckley's talking about losing. Once again, that ball's got to go there. 2-on-2 here. Collingwood get confused. Thomas doesn't put in a decent effort. You get the easy kick straight up the middle of the ground. Once again, it's Miller working. You get the run from behind with Markov. You get another easy inside 50 entry for Gold Coast yesterday. And the last one here, then it's fast play. He kicked it, Ellis. He gets it back. How good's this? Training drill run for Stewie Jews. Never had it so easy. Collingwood have lost their defensive DNA. They wanted to bring their heat. They did the complete opposite yesterday, which is Nathan Buckley's biggest concern.
Yeah, but with all due respect to Gold Coast, they won on their own merits. They didn't win because of the lack of effort.
They were allowed to win yesterday. You line up those two teams yesterday, and talent and all that, young side, they were 2 years younger than Collingwood yesterday. Collingwood, from the start, allowed them to do that and allowed them to get their game going. Can you give them some credit? Oh, they were great. Their last 2 weeks have been sensational, but the story's Collingwood, TJ. It's not Gold Coast.
I understand that, but let's not take anything away from Gold Coast. They've come to a ground that's completely foreign to many of them, and they've managed to beat a team that sort of like the
I don't think he's taking anything away from Gold Coast.
No, I know that. I know
that. But Collingwood allowed him to play well.
Thank you, Nathan. I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying we shouldn't take anything away from Gold Coast.
No worries.
It wasn't all Collingwood being bad. I mean, Gold Coast have obviously got some good points.
Had a very good fortnight. They've had a great fortnight, the Gold Coast Suns. Just want to touch on a couple of players. I spoke about the lack of improvement at Collingwood, and Jordan De Goey is one player that just isn't living up to his end of the bargain. He's been injured a little bit, but 16 disposals yesterday. He's one player that they are desperate to be a match. When you look at guys like Petrarca and Bontempelli, they would have been hoping that that's what Jordan De Goey would be right now. And obviously you've got Darcy Moore, who obviously he's playing in the forward line. He's doing what the team need him to do. He went forward for his side, but unfortunately, Darcy maybe just isn't a natural forward. Some may say he's at the ball use, but he looks confident with the ball coming towards him.
What do you do now? What do you do? You've had 3 games now. What's happening?
I would play him back. I thought Nathan did the right thing, sending him forward, but I think he's an All-Australian centre-half back. Now he looks like he's lost his confidence in the forward line, so try and find your champion centre-half back by sending him back to the back line.